Congressman Peter King. Good morning, King. Congressman King.
What do you mean, one of the great statesmen?
I know. I'm sorry about that.
The greatest. You are the greatest.
Okay, good. Okay, then we can go ahead then. Okay.
Long live the king, baby. That's what I'm saying.
I was about to walk off the show, but okay, go ahead.
You're going to pull a Paul Ryan? Just get the hell out of here, right? I mean, so you were on that call yesterday. Let's get right to it. That's the big story. Paul Ryan distancing himself from Donald Trump and basically saying, hey, let's worry about the rest of these races because I guess he thinks that Donald Trump is going to lose anyway. You were on the call. What did the call entail?
First of all, let me make it clear. I am supporting Donald Trump, and I'll continue to support him. That's number one.
Right.
Number two.
Way to go.
Yeah, there's really two parts to the call. When Paul came on first, he said that he would not be defending Donald Trump and he would be campaigning just for House candidates. And basically said, you have to do what you have to do. And then about 10 minutes later, it was opened up to questions. And I would say, 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 8 of the questions said that we should not be backing away from Donald Trump. And then Paul came back on and said, well, let me make it clear. I'm not withdrawing my endorsement. I still endorse him. I'm just not going to be campaigning. So he sort of softened it a bit. I was pleasantly surprised by the number of Republicans, and these would not be considered far right or not be considered overly partisan or in that category, who basically said that it hurts us to back away from Donald Trump. For one thing, whatever you said in the tape, and it was indefensible, but that was 11 years ago, and Donald Trump never said he was ahead of the moral majority. He never said that he was without sin. And if you were supporting Donald Trump up till Friday, to me, that tape should not have caused you to turn away from Donald Trump. If you were against him from the start, fine. If you were basing everything on a certain moral litmus test, that's fine. But what it looks like is guys are just running because there was a weekend of bad news. And you had guys abandoning Trump before he even had a chance to explain himself. And you're up against a candidate who certainly has a lot of her own questions to answer. And if you look at it, if we really care about who's going to be on the Supreme Court, if we really care about not being politically correct, about supporting the cops and rebuilding the military, is an 11-year-old tape enough to elect someone who's against us and all of those really life-defining issues? And so I think it hurts us. I think the average voter, when they see somebody walk away, there are issues of conscience, and I think voters can tell when a guy is doing it out of conscience or doing it just to cover himself. But if somebody was sort of standing with Trump when he was going up in the polls, and suddenly they see this guy, this woman run away when the polls start to go bad or when the media circus gets too much, I think they're going to end up, first of all, not picking up Democrat or independent votes, and they're underestimating how strong the Trump faction is within the Republican Party.
And plus, they're giving the middle finger to the people who voted for Donald Trump, elected him as our nominee to run for them. And listen, I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole with Paul Ryan and the rest of these bravehearts. But my question to you, Congressman King, is: do you think this conference call yesterday came the morning after what I consider was a stellar performance by Trump at the second debate, and it sort of stole Trump's thunder from that victorious debate? Do you think Ryan and these so-called establishment Republicans, they actually want Trump to lose?
No, some may, not Paul. Listen, Paul Ryan's a good guy. He's been very good as far as helping New York with the drug act. He was the guy that got it through for us. He also did get the Jester bill through, which enables 9/11 families to sue Syria. I think he was hearing so much from people within the party, and as the speaker, he's got to try to keep everything together. And he said, okay, my main job is to reelect Republicans. But I think a lot of these other guys who are complaining to Paul Ryan, a lot of these guys who are nervous, I think they just hurt themselves. And again, listen, there's a certain amount of hypocrisy here when I hear people on television, including reporters, who, God, these guys can be real lowlifes, and they're on there. I never heard language like this. I never heard anyone talk like this. Listen, the language is bad. It's indefensible, but, you hear it, whether it's an army barracks, whether it's the back room of a TV studio, whether it's congressmen sitting around a bar at night. And from what I understand, I spent the weekend going around the district at bagel shops, diners, talking to people in shopping centers. Went to Giulio Cesare restaurant up in Carl Place on Saturday night, and I was struck by the number of people who said, listen, what this guy said was wrong. What the hell's wrong with him? But we're not voting for her. I don't know if these guys who bailed out on Trump were talking to real people or they were just watching MSNBC.
But there is that thought out there, that mentality that some of these establishment Republicans would rather have Hillary Clinton win than Donald Trump and then go for it in 2020. And so you don't think that any of them want him to lose?
Oh no, some may. Yeah, some may. Some guys never liked Trump in the South. Listen, I had problems with Donald Trump. Sid was giving me a hard time for not supporting Trump earlier on, but I'm there. No, but I mean, listen, there's no, to me, when it's between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump is clearly the better candidate. If you're a true conservative Republican, he's the candidate. Secondly, as you get to know him, you realize there are two Donald Trumps as far as personality. But apart from all that, no, there are people in the party who they resent the style. They resent the fact that even though he may have conservative positions, he doesn't act like the button-down Republican businessman. They would love to have guys come in who act very starchy and very aloof and very sophisticated. Trump is too much like, with all his money, he's still too much like the kid on the Queen Street corner. He's too New York for them.
Well, Peter, obviously that I'm not voting for Trump and never would. In fact, I think he's the worst candidate ever. But I am with you guys. I think this is ridiculous. I think there's a lot to be upset about with Donald Trump, and it ain't this. Because, what he said was, like you said, and Chris Christie said this morning, indefensible. But so what? I mean, come on. He's going up against a lady whose husband allegedly raped somebody. So in the end, this seems kind of ridiculous. But with that said, okay, Paul Ryan, maybe there's a method to his madness, and that is he's worried about the future of your party. Here are the facts, Peter. He's going to lose Trump in a month. He's going to go back and do TV and build buildings, and he's not going to care. But your party may be in danger. So two questions. If he does lose, are you worried about the future of your party? And secondly, are you really worried you may lose the House?
Yeah, listen, we have to be concerned about that. I'm just saying, first of all, I think Paul Ryan it was reacting to a lot of pressure from within the Republican Party. He has a different responsibility than I do. He has to worry about 246 Republicans. He's got to try and keep people together. So I understand where Paul is coming from. But as far as the other Republicans, I think that when people look at you and they see you cut and run, that's going to cause us to lose more votes, I believe. We're going to end up having people are going to be voting for Hillary Clinton. And once they get on the top of the ticket, there's going to be a certain percentage going to stay on that Democratic line, and they're going to get down and vote against Republicans. Others, the Trump people in the party, and there's a sizable percentage of them, feel here's a guy who won the primaries, he won the nomination, and now you guys are walking away from him, make him believe it's because the tape. Now, whether it's the tape or not, the impression of a lot of Trump people is that people are using this as an excuse to get away. I think it's good politics and it's good government to stick with your nominee unless it's something that's so outrageous that you can't handle it. I don't think that this tape reaches that level, and I think people see through it, and I think these guys is running. If they don't have the guts to stand and fight, why elect them?
Do you think that there's a chance, I know this sounds crazy, that the real loyal Trump supporter is so pissed at Paul Ryan, Peter, and your party that he or she votes for Trump and then goes Democrat the rest of the ticket?
That is a real risk, absolutely, yeah. And that's why this could be a civil war, because they look upon it as, okay, Republicans are going against Trump, okay, then we're going to go against Republicans. Both sides are wrong in doing that. I mean, it's like, the old expression your mother said, biting off your nose to spite your face. But that really is what this is about. And if we're serious about what we believe in, you try to make the best of it between now and Election Day. And I don't write Trump off. I'll tell you why. Her unfavorables are still high. If he can put together a good 4 weeks, this can be won. It's underlined.
Yes.
I really do. So I'm not writing it off at all. And he, I thought, put on a masterful performance on Sunday.
Thank you. Keep hope alive, says Peter King. Now, and by the way, yes, the Democrats, Ted Kennedy, he left a woman to drown, and he ran away. And of course, Bill Clinton molested an intern in the Oval Office. And the Democrats rallied around them, and Ted Kennedy went out to run for president. For God's sakes, if you have one weekend from some stupid audio tape, you go running for the hills. I mean, what does that say about you? You're 100% right. But you just mentioned Trump at the debate. He had a masterful performance. I agree with you 100%. What did you think about, of course, Hillary Clinton says, well, they go low, we go high. Well, she brought up Alicia Machado. They brought out this tape, the Washington Post, and they were in lockstep with Hillary Clinton. And Trump brought in the sexual assault victims of Bill Clinton. What did you think of that move, Congressman King?
Yeah, and that's where the double standard is. Everyone's saying it's the worst thing that Trump can do. He's going to turn off all the women in America if he brings in women who claim that they were attacked by Bill Clinton. Why is it okay for them to be parading around a former Miss Universe and talking about her? And and yet it's wrong.
Well, can I stop you for a second? It's not a matter of, Peter, what's okay and what's not. It's a matter of what's going to get Donald Trump votes. And whether you or Bernard want to believe it or not, women don't like him. So even though it's not fair and it's not okay, he's got to play by a different set of rules. And sometimes things like that do hurt him.
But on Sunday night, considering where he was at, I think it was something he had to do to stop the hemorrhaging, because the media coming at him, and also what it did was it really kept Hillary quiet. She couldn't go after him after that first shot she took at him, and he went back at her. That took that issue off the table for the rest of that debate. So remember, coming into this, is Donald Trump going to resign? Is Donald Trump going to be overthrown by the Republican National Committee? Is Mike Pence going to leave the ticket? Is Donald Trump, can he stay in the race? And suddenly, after about 15 minutes of the debate, that issue was off to the side, and we were talking about energy, we were talking about taxes, we were talking about ISIS, and it became a real debate. And I think he had to use his own shock tactics to turn that around.
Hey, Congressman King on with Bernie and said, listen, we're out of time, Congressman. You're a stand-up guy, a foxhole friend, standing by Trump when he's down, which is when it counts. And, by the way, we missed you at the Irish Day Parade out in Long Beach a week and a half ago. I didn't see you.
I'm not the congressman there anymore. I don't want to be interloping.
You're still an Irish guy. Come on, you come down. People come from Westchester County to go to that thing. But listen.
Let me tell you, I may be defending Donald Trump. I'd have a hard time defending Sid, though. I tell you, I don't know.
Without a doubt.
Okay, that'll be tough. That'll really be pushing.
No matter what kind of foxhole. Listen, Congressman King, we love you. Thank you for coming on with the Bernie and Sid Show.
Excellent job as always.
Bill O'Reilly's up next on Bernie and Sid after this.